Oh, you know who's back.
Me, not Ste.
B and Ste.
Barry
Podcast
and
163 in the new media office, the new podcast booth. It's not so much a booth anymore, is it?
No, it's not.
What do you call it, Barry?
It's a work in progress.
It is a work in progress. That's why we are recording. We're going on Facebook Live.
This is like a teaser.
But this is a teaser, yeah. You just get to hear our silky voices.
Yeah.
But we're back after an extended break of 5 months.
It was well deserved.
It was well deserved. 4 years of podcasts, 162 episodes later, and we needed a bit of a break. But we'll get to that later. So, NPK Live, episode 163. It's January, and the number one UK hydroponics podcast is back for your listening pleasure.
We're the only podcast in the UK. So technically, we're top and bottom. Get on that.
What? Lad, we've had a 5-month break, and you just come in with your negativity.
It's not negativity.
It's not Barry Builds anymore.
We're the only. That's even better than being top. We're the only ones.
So we're also the worst hydroponics
We're the
podcast.
worst. We're in the top, middle, and the bottom. Check the charts.
We've got the most downloads and the least downloads.
Yeah.
We're everyone's favourite UK hydroponics podcast and everyone's most hated UK hydroponics
And we're
podcast.
the only UK podcast.
We've won every award possible.
Yeah. No one competes.
Well, Barry Builds now Barry, Mr. Glass half empty negativity.
No, I'm not that bad.
Yeah, you are.
No,
we'll let the listeners decide. Let's go and listen to our brand new intro done by Coatsy Beats. It's sick.
All good? Ready to go? Turn my voice up a little bit. Oh, got that. Everyone watching. The whole family.
Are you ready to go? Barry built a beer in the house that I built, in the booth that I built.
I know people tune in every Sunday to listen, but even when business is good, we still manage to do the podcast.
So, we're back. What did you think of that intro tune?
Boss.
I like
Done
it.
a good job.
Do you know what, though? I'm a fussy little
It's
kid.
all new. Everything's new.
Everything's new. The wallpaper's new.
Yeah. The desk.
The desk is very... Is it new or old?
I don't know. It's hard, isn't it?
It is. It's
It's
a new
new,
desk, but with
But
old wood. Yeah. And we've actually... This desk in front of us now is just a small one. It's like to get us through this week because we've got a bespoke one made. But Mick hates that word, doesn't he? Bespoke.
Yeah.
He's
What does
telling
he
us all
call it?
about it. Handcrafted.
Handcrafted.
Yeah, handcrafted to your unique design and desires.
When we got off, we said, bespoke that.
Yeah. But, listen, you want to see this table? That's coming next week. It's from Patsy's Place on Botanic Road in Liverpool, and it's phenomenal. Like, it's a day out.
Yeah, that is good.
It's like, if it's our cup of tea.
Like a little Aladdin's cave in there, isn't it?
Yeah. If you follow us on Instagram at NPK_hydroponics, I'm going to be throwing some pictures up soon, so make sure you follow us to see all them pictures. But it's been a long time, Barry. 5 months. It feels good to be back. Are you happy to be back?
I'm happy to be back, yeah, but I was happy at the break as well.
Yeah.
It was good. It was well deserved.
It was. Why did we have a break? Why did we have a break?
For Stephen,
Why did you have a break?
Stephen let his hair down, grew his beard, and that was the end of that.
I know that's been going on for a little while. That could be. I'm probably not.
He's itching his nuts, and we've got live on camera, and he's, you know what I mean?
No, it's not going out live.
Yeah,
Josh will edit it.
Edit
Oh,
that,
and I
Josh.
wasn't. I was
Can you do it,
fixing-
Josh? Show yourself. Let the viewers see who you are. They've got Josh and Coaty in the room with us. Coaty's the music producer. He does all the sounds. And Josh is like, he's flicking
video
now. Are you
editor.
ready? Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2.
It's all fancy stuff.
Yeah.
All thanks to the Mevo
I'm
camera
lost
as well.
now. I'm used to don't know. It's like working in inches and then going to millimeters. It's lost me.
So the reason that we've had a break is, well, we set up a media company,
Yeah.
NPK Media. Barry's wearing the hoodie, and I've got the hat and the top. NPK Media took setting up a new company It takes a lot out of you, really. And we launched the AutoPot in 2018, coincidentally when we did our last podcast with Greg and Marissa from Revolution Electronics. And we did some best bits. Then we did 4 episodes of NPK Live's best bits. And then September, October, November, December was just, what do you call it? Balls to the wall?
Balls to the wall, flat out. It
flat
doesn't
out.
feel like we've stopped though, does it? Like everything's been still evolved around this, hasn't it? Sort of thing, even though we haven't been sat in these chairs.
No.
It's like everything's still evolved around it, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've been getting more subscribers. So to all the new subscribers, apologies for not having any new content for you over the last 5 months. But the shop, the NPK technology shop, for those outside the UK and don't know, it's just been a bit manic. And at the end of the day, the customers come first, don't they?
Yeah,
they always have to. They always have done. So me and Barry and the lads in the shop have had to concentrate on the shop. Barry's been building extra space. It's all going really well. And the media company, we launched at AutoPot. That has done better than I could have ever imagined, to be honest with you.
It's tough off, hasn't it?
We've got some great lads doing the videos. We've got Coachy doing the music. We've got our creative. I'm the creative director, and Josh is like we haven't come up with a name for Josh because he is everything else. COO. Yeah, that's just everything
He's
else.
Everything else, isn't he?
Wipes my ass for me.
That's a big ass. You must need some tissue for that, Josh. That's an all-day job, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, lovely. So, the big announcement for the podcast, though, right, is that because the shop is so busy and we've got the new company, NPK Media, the podcast wouldn't have been able to continue like we had been. I spent a lot of hours in my own time.
We just couldn't find the time to do it with how busy the shop's been.
And we get home of an evening, and I've been spending the time that I work at home on the media company. And I like to research the topics we talk about in depth. And I just haven't had the time to do it. So rather than coming with a half-hearted podcast that people started to go, it's gone down in quality. Right. We took some time off. And 2, over the Christmas period, investors approached us, and we approached some investors, but we call them partners. Yeah, we have now got partners of the show and I don't call them sponsors for the reason of
it sounds like you're in bed with them. When it's a sponsor.
They're paying us to say good things about their products,
and it's not like that.
It's not like that because if you listen back to the last 162 episodes, every partner that is on the show has pretty much always been spoken about in a good light. They're all good companies and they're partners of the show. And the partners include
CANNA
Nutrients,
AutoPot
Watering Systems, Revolution Lighting, based in Thailand and America. We've got SANlight LED, based in Austria.
We've also got a sneaky one up our sleeve, haven't we?
We've got a sneaky one up our sleeve.
We're not going to tell you.
We're going to make an announcement in the next few weeks. We're just working out some final details.
Make sure we've missed no one off there.
And we've got CAN filters, CAN fan and filters, based in Europe. And the overarching, we have got help from Highlight Horticulture as well.
Yeah, we've had a lot of help from them.
Yeah, so they distribute a lot of the products.
To be honest with you, when you say them products, like out loud, they are probably the top products and the most recognised and most common, and probably, well, they are the most sold. It's a proven fact. But just because, like Steve's saying there, just because we're sponsored, we're not sponsored by them.
They're just partners.
They're partners.
And this is what we're about to say. Yeah. This is the most crucial message. CANNA aren't suddenly the best nutrient company. No. AutoPot aren't suddenly the best watering system. Yeah. CAN filters aren't suddenly the best fan and filter. Revolution Lighting isn't suddenly the best lighting company. SANlight isn't suddenly the best LED. And Highlight isn't suddenly the best wholesaler.
Yeah.
And then with the future discussions over the next few weeks, the next partner will become the best at what they do.
We sat down with them, didn't we? And they love what we do, and we love what they do in the same breath. But they wanted to keep us going and educating yous and talking to yous and keep the podcast going. The only way we done it was by getting partners. And I might have just lost all those partners by saying that they're not the best. But the reason get them on the phone,
make sure it's all still good. But the reason I've said all that is because when we've been talking with the partners, I've said to them, we can't be influenced on the podcast. We can't stop our
We
what
can't
we
just
talk
suddenly
about.
turn the podcast around and say CANNA's the best, don't go with any other nutrient, because they might be the best to some people, but to other people, other nutrients are the best.
Yeah.
And it's the same with fan and filters and lighting. And
There's other
it's
good
the
fan and
same.
filter companies out there. There's other
What's
good
good for
nutrient
one
companies.
person isn't good for another.
I know.
So,
But here's the big message. Let CANNA, AutoPot, Can Filters, Revolution, SANlight, Highlight, they are all good products. But let's imagine they're all mediocre products.
Yeah.
Now, what the listener needs to do is think that the partners of the podcast have spent money to allow us to continue to do hydroponics
because they
education.
love what we do.
They love what we do. They think that education of the end user is one of the most important things that you can do as a company, and they really wanted to support us. They believe what we believe. We believe what they believe, and it's a really good
Without
partnership
them,
come together.
we wouldn't be where we are now, would we?
We wouldn't be where we are. We've managed to get so we're in a small part of the big media office, and you'll notice as well over the next few weeks the sound quality is going to get better because we're in a big open room. We've got to pad it out with some of that soundproof padding. It's going to get decorated a bit more, and you'll notice it'll improve.
It's going to evolve.
Evolve. That's my word. I was looking for.
I'll help you.
That's good.
Oh, look, we've got a guest. Star guest, Brian.
What?
He's the top shop man he is. Without him,
it'd all go to pot.
It'd all go to pot, wouldn't it,
Literally.
Brian? Hey.
So, we're talking about, I've got a little bit of sheets here. Let me realise what I'm talking about. I'm a bit rusty at this, you know, but yeah, I haven't done it for a little while.
No, it's just squeaking when you're walking in, but I didn't know that was good. Josh would wipe your ass or not.
You said you'd supply me with WD-40, didn't you? So, now don't be worried, listeners, because the way that we're going to talk, that we'll be talking about the partners every single week because they've allowed the podcast to be what it is.
And it's only right, isn't it?
Yeah, and today's podcast is a refresher.
But don't be
happening, everyone.
influenced. You can't say it enough, can you? Don't be influenced by, if we do talk about the partners in it, don't be influenced to go out and buy their stuff and rave on, because we're talking about them because they've helped us so much. You know what I mean?
You should, when you're considering what to buy, if it's a nutrient, you should really consider CANNA, because you know that they're helping to educate you. If you're a listener of the podcast,
it's like giving something back.
Yeah, they've spent money to educate the end consumer, so they do care. What this is all about is these companies, these partners care about education and this podcast and allowing something to thrive in the hydroponics industry. So I can't say thank you enough. But for anyone that has got a bit of a fear and thinking, oh, what's this going to be? It's not going to be at the beginning of every podcast. This podcast is sponsored by CANNA, AutoPot, CANLight, and everyone else that's a partner. We're going to be talking about the products. We're going to be giving the products a little bit of an explanation and talking in depth about how it can help you and what you can do with the products.
But we're also going to talk about, we might talk about CANNA, but the next conversation might be about another nutrient.
No, we're going to have interviews with other nutrient companies.
We're going to have interviews with other nutrient companies, lighting manufacturers, systems,
filters,
everything.
LEDs, everything.
Everything.
And if Highlight let us, we might have another wholesaler on here.
Yeah. And I reckon we're well in for some star guests this time. You know?
We are in for some star.
We're going to shock you all.
Yeah, you're not ready for the guests that we've got coming on our show.
They're not hardy.
No, we are the UK number one
there
podcast.
Could be people
That's
from
undoubted.
Across the pond.
That's
everywhere.
undoubted. Number one in the UK. But obviously, we're looking to take this worldwide. Yeah. Most of our subscribers are US based. We want to take this truly global, and we want to be influencing millions of people. So help us spread the word, share the podcast. It's only going to get better and bigger as we get on. So some of the things that we haven't talked about is we've talked about the shop and the reason we took our break, the media company. If you're a company in the hydroponics industry anywhere in the world, then follow NPK Media on Instagram and you'll be able to see what the lads are doing over there with the videos and the marketing and the websites and the music, everything that you need to get your company to where it needs to be. NPK Media. But enough about that. The YouTube show as well. We've also had a little break from the YouTube show because it all takes time. It all takes a lot of effort and a lot of research. We don't want to do anything half-hearted. So a lot of people have been messaging me about the podcast, but also been messaging me about the YouTube show. We took a break, a mid-season break for season 2, and that will be back very shortly. We have filmed 3 episodes. we've got to film another 3 more, and that will finish the season, and then we'll be releasing them. We've already started filming season 3, and we'll let you know what that is in the next few weeks. And we've also started planning for season 4. So don't worry, the YouTube show is still there, but we never do anything half-hearted. It's got to be full bore. So what have I written down here? I wanted to talk, what else did I want to talk about? The future and what we're doing in 2019.
Oh, loads.
We have planned the podcast. So along with partners comes a responsibility to be...
No, it's not.
It would be you, wouldn't it?
Sorry.
How many times did I say, is that on silent? Just let yourself down.
You're going, Brian. Aye, you're off.
Brian, take it easy.
Take care. See you in the morning, son. Ta-ra, lad.
So, yeah, there's a responsibility to plan the podcast. I've planned the next 52 episodes, but I also want the listeners to comment and message us on Instagram, message us on Facebook, get in touch anyway, anyhow, and let us know what you want us to talk about. Let us know anybody that you want us to interview, because at the end of the day, it's the people's podcast as well. We need to do what you want. We've got spaces for interviews coming up over the next year, and we're going to take the podcast to the next level. So when we were with Slim and Jake, and the guests that we had on in the Hydro Awards, Slim said that we had a responsibility to educate further. So rather than just talk about humidity, we need to start talking about VPD, vapor pressure deficit, and what that means to the grower. Instead of talking about lights and lighting and how many lights you have in your room, we need to start talking a little bit about PAR.
More in depth.
Yeah, PPFD, and looking at the output of lights and how that affects a grower. Does it really matter to the grower? Which growers does it matter to? Some it might do, some it might not.
Did they need to know? Did they not need to know?
Yeah.
Does it affect them?
That's what we're here for. So we're fully planned out on that. We've got Spannabis in March.
Love Spannabis.
I love Spannabis as well.
It's like another break.
It is.
Yeah, I love it.
What do you mean another break?
It's just like another break.
With all your weekly breaks that you have.
Yeah, I don't have weekly breaks.
You do.
No.
Your weekly breaks, you say you're building. Aye. And I know you're like, what... You're helping spas refresh their chlorine levels in the jacuzzis.
We're going to that level, are we?
He says he's putting joists up in the house. He's actually in the spa, taking a break. No, but the Spannabis in March will be there live, and we'll be interviewing
We've
some
got
people
interviews
at
in there and that, haven't we, with people?
Yeah, there's always some great people to interview at Spannabis, and again,
it's nice just for the catch up with everyone, with every wholesaler and everyone, isn't it? Even all the shop owners and that. It's good to have a catch up.
It's warm.
Sometimes you speak to wholesalers and you get to know them dead well. You don't even know what they look like, and then you meet them at Spannabis. You're like, "Is that you? Yes, what's happening?"
Yeah, you sounded like an ugly bastard, and I was right.
Told you, Steve, you're a big fatty.
Spannabis is always great to meet up with people, and also get to see people that you don't get to see all the time because they're based in America or somewhere in Europe. It's all good. That's going to be a good podcast.
Yeah.
What is going to happen to the UK hydroponics industry when we leave Europe? If we leave Europe.
I'm stocking up.
Yeah. Or what, on your pounds?
Yeah.
So that's going to be a really interesting podcast. What else are we doing? In May, we're going to a hemp conference. It's only one day thing. I can't remember where it is.
Looking forward to
Belgium.
that,
just going over, staying one day in
a
a
hotel. It is
Belgium,
isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
And I remember that now because you got really excited about the chocolate.
Yeah.
You said, "Yeah, we'll go for the chocolate."
Yeah, man.
So we're going to go there. We'll probably do some interviews over there if time allows and meet some interesting people. Never been to that one before. The highly anticipated AutoPot Festival.
Oof.
It's like we finished our podcast, our last live one, at AutoPot, and we're already talking about the next one.
It's come round quick, hasn't it?
It does come round quick. It's in August. As soon as we've got back from Barcelona, I'm going to start.
What done? It's great. I
is.
love it.
It's great because you get to do lots of work and meet and see new products and get to see new people.
I was thinking about letting me hair down again.
Again. So you're going to do what everyone else does and drink gin and
I'm going to prop
watch
myself
the music
up
stage
at the bar, and that's me. I don't even drink, but I'm going to prop myself up there.
All your work's done by Friday night, setting up the stand.
Oh, that's me. I
And
just
then
go
you're
there. I
happy
go
days.
with Jalal, set up, and then that's it. Me and Jalal are on our jobs.
Barry goes missing.
I go missing then.
We've got a big one in December.
One I'm looking forward to. Never been before. I can't wait to go.
Las Vegas. Yeah, it's in December. I thought it was in November. It was last year, but it's in December this year. It's the biggest conference in the world.
Yeah.
And in Las Vegas, where it is legal, it's a conference about cannabis. So we'll be going to go over there and see what's going on in America and find out. Now, CBD has actually been legalized in the UK medicinally. There's a lot of to and fro between governments, but it's possible that, it's been legal in America for a long time. So we're going to go over there, see what's going on with the medicinal side, and then come back to the UK and talk to you all about it and see how the UK could implement some US strategies and get CBD as a medicine out there and talk about CBD as a medicine on future podcasts. Now, before we get to some seasonal top tips, I do want to go back to the partners because we've got some little figures that I put together. Now, again, obviously they're supporting us, but here's some little figures for you. CANNA is the number one sold nutrient in the UK, year in and year out. It's easy to use, it's consistent liquid. So I'm happy to have them as a partner because even though we are promoting their products, it's a great range of products anyway. So you are not going to go wrong with it. AutoPot's one of the number one selling systems in the world with its gravity fed technique and is available in over 70 countries. Revolution Lighting have got probably one of the lowest return rates. Their fail rates in the region of 0.01%, and it's a very rapidly growing lighting company. It's going to be doing good things. Can filters, did you know this?
I know.
Go on, tell me.
I know it all.
Tell me.
Can filters, you're not going to tell me anything I don't know. It's sold in over 35 countries, and it's the leading. It's the top in the world.
It is. It's definitely the top filter manufacturer.
I know Erwin.
And you know Erwin.
Phones me all the time.
Does he? Yeah. Erwin.
Pesters the life out of me.
Tell everyone what you call him.
Can I?
Yeah.
Fucking dickhead.
He
rings me and he doesn't say, I've got to watch you on with. If I put him on loudspeaker and I'm in the car, my missus, as soon as he answered the phone, go low, he goes, fucking dickhead.
You spent a week on the road.
Spent a week on the road with him and he had them speaking Scouse. Scouse is a Liverpool accent. He had them speaking Scouse for a week.
Erwin's one of it's like the European rep for Canfield. He's a brilliant asset to the team. And we actually went out for some food on the night, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
he was over. I think he's back in February, isn't he? Visiting shops
back
again.
In February, and he'll be in Barcelona in Spain. So we might have
a little catch up with him. AutoPot as well.
He definitely will be. So we'll
AutoPot
see him there. SANlight is an LED company. It's a recent addition to the UK market, but from the research that I've been doing on SANlight, from the results you can see on their Instagram page, they're going to be a big player.
They're
going
to make a big impact, aren't they?
They already are, to be honest. Obviously, I'm not speaking from first-hand experience, but the LED lights, and from people I have used them, our customers that are using them, I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
So they're going to be a big player in the LED market. And Highlight have just been to their research and development facility. Now, they've got this thing called an Ulbricht sphere, and it's an Ulbricht sphere, or an integrating...
This is new to me.
Ogyanonometer. We're going to get somebody on that can properly pronounce that.
Fufu valve.
What's that from?
Fufu valve.
What? That's off a telly programme, isn't it?
That's just
it's a builder technique, is it? You want to get an extra £100 out of Dorothy, and you say, "We need, you know what you need, love. You need 3 fufu valves."
Yeah, and get me some spirit level bubbles.
Yeah, some tartan paint.
Some skating board ladders. A long goof. What is it? No, you had a long stand.
Yeah, that's the one. A left-handed hammer.
Yeah.
We'll send some of our lads one of them to have them up the wall. No, but Highlight went over there, research and development. They've got the integrating sphere, or the Ulbricht sphere, or the ogyanonometer. Get someone on to tell you how to say that. And what that is basically really the only way to measure light output and how you can document light output and see what your light's really doing. They've got one, they own one, and they do a lot of data, so they can give you a lot of data from that Ulbricht sphere. So they're not messing about, and Highlight came back. Our friend Jay came back and was very impressed by them and said he's top notch. You need to start using them and get us some feedback. So,
and we have given them out on test, haven't we?
Yeah,
and
they're
the
out
results
on test,
are back.
and the results are people are happy with them. But you need to go and follow them on their Instagram page, SANlight LED, and see the results.
Check it for yourself.
Yeah, go and follow.
We're
them
not just telling you this because we're a partner. Just check it for yourself.
Yeah, go and have a little look at yourself. And then we've also got Highlight overarching supporter of the podcast. They supply a lot of the partners, so they've been helping out a lot as well. What else did I want to say? So go and follow SANlight on Instagram. Go and follow Can Filters or Erwin. He's good to follow on Instagram. Revolution Lighting on Instagram. AutoPot and CANNA. CANNA doesn't have an Instagram, but you can follow them on Facebook.
What's going on there, Steve?
Who knows?
What's happening, mate?
It's CANNA's a very structured company, and they've got to be very, very careful with what they do. So the reasons is that they're just being very, very careful. So you need to go and follow their Facebook page, CANNA UK, and go and see what they're up to. Hopefully one day they will have an Instagram.
Hopefully one day soon.
Everybody's up to, isn't it?
Yeah.
So to finish off, some seasonal tips. We can't just go on about what we've been doing. I want to give you some seasonal tips. It is absolutely freezing
Cold.
For the UK weather, it is Baltic.
Can't we show them outside? Show them the snow.
Josh is going to look at the painstaking
Oh,
look on
yeah,
Josh's
look at him
face.
now. He's gutted. I've said that. He's thinking, why have you said that, Barry? Now I'm moving.
Look, this is like real-time movement, though, of the podcast. Now, if you're listening to the podcast, all you need to do to be able to go and watch this is go to... What did he go to, Barry?
For what?
To watch this?
Telly.
It is the NPK Hydroponics Live Facebook page. We will be live.
Sorry, Josh.
We'll be live every Wednesday at 4:00.
Yeah.
Now we say this, and we've got the greatest intentions of being 4:00 on
Ste
Wednesday.
Isn't organised. That's the problem. We come in before to do podcast, this little teaser, and we've been here for about 4 hours already, setting chairs
It's
up and
currently
everything.
10 to 6.
Yeah.
All the lads have gone home and we're still here. It's gone pitch black outside. But in the UK, it's -3 tonight. So for UK growers, you'll be listening to this on a Sunday. And you'll be able to watch this probably Sunday and Monday as well on the Facebook page. Is the biggest one is get some heaters in your room.
Yeah. And make sure them earrings are on timers. And
So you
and if you're turning them right off, I'd be putting one of them things called like
backdraft shutters.
Backdraft shutters. Say it again. Backdraft shutter.
Trying to get your lips around that one.
You have to wipe my ass as well, Josh. Oh, lad.
And a good metal backdraft shutter.
Yeah.
So if you've got a 6-inch fan pushing in, some 6-inch ducting, the backdraft shutter is just a piece of metal with 2 semicircle pieces of metal on springs. So when your fan's blowing in,
Why are you telling them this?
why is this your job?
Just on Barry Bills, mate. I talk about stuff like that.
Go on then, take
You
over.
stick to the science. It's just flaps, and when the pressure pushes out, no, you can't use a backdraft shutter on an earring.
You can just before you have
can't.
the fan. When you've got a fan, you can, and then
Can't.
you can. And when the fan comes on, it pushes them open, so it's the air in. And when the fan goes off, for a timer,
It
they
pushes
shut.
open. So you'd have to have the backdraft shutter on the inside,
Yeah,
not on the outside.
after the fan,
After the
intake.
fan, so the backdraft shutter would be in the room,
Yeah.
not outside.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's better.
are you happy now?
Yeah, you've explained it properly now too. Otherwise,
So-
they'd all be running manic thinking, what's going on?
I was doing well there. It's like piece of metal, 6-inch,
Yeah.
pieces of springs, semicircle, a piece of metal, and you come along and say, "No, I'll explain it properly." What you get is a pair of flaps, metal flaps.
Where do I buy them from?
Robocops now listening, getting dead
I'm
excited.
telling you, it's him, man.
Where are these Robo flaps? I need some Robo flaps.
Yeah, what you need is WD-40, mate. Stop that squeak.
So yeah, intakes though, get them on a timer. So it's going off when your lights go off. Getting your intake on when your lights are on. Simple. If you can't do that, then getting it on a dimmer will also work. So
Yeah.
when the temperature is starting to drop, your fan controller will know to dim the intake and bring less cold air in. Don't scrimp and save on your heaters though. It's got to be, in this weather, it's got to be 2,000 watt oil-filled, big boy, bad man radiators.
Bad man.
Bad man boy radiators. Bad man boy. That doesn't really sound.
Bad man boy.
Bad man, big boy, bad man radiators. That's what you got to use, and several of them as well in this weather.
Yeah.
And then get a fan moving that air, because heat rises, cold air sinks. So if you don't have a fan moving that air around, then you can have a warm top and a cold bottom. Do you ever suffer with a cold bottom?
Never.
Never.
I'm always sat on it so it's warm.
Ah, so you got thermal
Sometimes I
pants.
sit on my hands to keep them warm as well, because they've got nothing to do.
plenty of radiators, manage your intakes, and also, what else did I write down there? Because I wrote down some top tips, seasonal top tips. To stage dimming, so stage dimming, so it's a bit more advanced now.
Yeah.
You know, people that are using things like your Revolution Diva double-ended lights, or SANlight, or any other double-ended manufacturer. If you're using those lights, and I've used Revolution Diva, so I'm going to talk about them. The controller, you can do stage dimming. So when the lights are about to go off, rather than just all off at once, it'll start to dim them down. What that does is allows the heaters to catch up, bring your temperature up to a nice point, and it's also better management of your humidity, rather than just lights going off, temperature falls through the floor,
and then it goes through the roof again.
Yeah, your humidity goes through the roof, and then you can get moulds and just all kinds of problems. If
like
you do
feather it in.
What's that?
Feather it in.
Feather it in.
Why is it getting me?
Feather it in.
Everything I
say it again. Feather it in.
Feather it in. Look, you've got me all tongue tied now. Feather it in.
So that's what you can do with it, with the double-ended high-end light controllers. You can feather it in, that's what I like to say. What else have we got written down? Extraction.
You sounded like Freddie Mercury then. Have you watched that new film? Sorry to go off. Have you seen it?
I thought you smelt a bit strange.
No dear.
Oh dear, darling.
Have you watched it though?
No, I've watched the first 5 minutes. And then
what's the first 5 minutes of a film? Hope you didn't make your mind up on it then.
I didn't. I just made sure.
I watched it the other night, and it's all right, you know.
Did you?
Yeah, it's all right. Like.
You've come in like a bit of a different person.
Dead eccentric.
Dead eccentric. he walks. Normally, Barry walks into the office, and he's like, "Sartman boys, get the kettle on. Get that kettle on." He's coming today in a string vest, going, "Darlings, we need to perform a band."
Come in today, mate, with a bad neck. Been lying on the office floor all day. My neck's killing me.
It's because you've been singing "Who Wants to Live Forever." You've been singing all the Queen songs.
God, this is a podcast, mate, and fucking The Voice or X Factor.
I'd smash it.
No, you wouldn't.
I would.
You wouldn't.
Listen, I've got Coatsy. You could make me sound like
Coatsy,
a dog.
tell him straight.
Listen to this. Are you ready?
Sounds like a broken motorbike.
So I'm going to do a bit of work for Coatsy now. You monitor where we are on the podcast, and he's going to do like a little bit of a Queen beat. So it's dum dum dum. Another one bites the dust. Dum, dum, dum. Another one bites the dust. Now you've got to make me sound like Fred. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust.
Jalal's on next week with Ste as well.
I thought you were going to say Jalal's on next week with like a Madonna song or something.
We could get Brian doing something. Like a bit of a Tina Turner.
Just move the podcast away from hydroponics to audio.
Stop singing and don't sing me because you're ruining it.
Well, anyway.
Josh has just given me the nod that the subscribers are just knocking off rapidly. He said it's like Bitcoin, it's just going ding, 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 ding.
And all the partners have started moving away slowly as well. Now, the last point that I've written down is extraction on a thermostatic controller. So this has worked really well for me. Put your extraction on a thermostatic controller, set your temperatures so that your maximum temperature wants to be in the region of, let's say, 26 degrees. If it starts getting above that, you can set a differential as well. So you can say, I want to play a 1, 2, 3 degrees. So when it gets to, I've got a play of 2 degrees. So if it gets up to 28, your fan starts kicking in to 100%.
I think that in this day and age, I think that should just be standard.
Yeah.
I think like, if you're not using that meat, man, you need to catch up.
And when the temperature gets below a certain point, I've set my low temperature to 20. So when it gets below it, when it gets to 18, it starts slowing the fan down to the minimum temperature to warm the room back up. It's also got humidity settings. And the control I'm talking about is actually the Global Air Supplies controller, Enviro controller. Phenomenal piece of kit.
Boss piece of
Phenomenal. Manages EC and AC fans. Very accurate probe on it for measuring humidity and temperature. And it's got 2 auxiliaries, so you can do your humidifier, you can do heaters. Just a really, really good piece of kit. So I'm nearly finished with testing that, and I think we'll probably get Ian on in the next few months to talk about some of the new products he's got coming out, because they have got a great range of products, and I want to educate our customers on what they've got. So they were just a few of the top tips that I wanted to mention in this cold weather. Don't get caught out, all right? I've always gone about it on previous podcasts. Download the weather app on your phone every morning. Wake up. This is another top tip. This is a life top tip. You've started doing it, haven't you? So when you wake up and you wake up all bleary-eyed and you don't really know what's going on, get your phone, open it, click on the weather app, see what the weather's going to be like today, tomorrow, and the next 10 days. And what the light does from your phone is wakes the eyes up. So you wake up a lovely human being rather than a rotter.
And you know what the weather is.
Yeah, and you know what the weather is. So you're winning in life. And you go and have a drink of coffee, you've smashed your morning. But if you know what the weather's doing, if you know that the temperature's going to suddenly drop from 5 degrees overnight to -5, you go make the preparations in your room. You go and do what you need to do to make sure that
The
you're not going to
7
get caught
Ps.
out. What are they?
Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. Is there something else?
Proper preparation, proper planning and preparation prevent piss poor performance.
Oh, I was fucked them way.
You're the 6 Ps.
I'm the
You
6
do no
Ps.
planning, just preparation. Just goes in there, fixes the walls up. Well, you know what? I will take my hat off to you though, Barry. This brick wall you've built, brick by brick, phenomenal. You wouldn't even tell it's been wallpapered.
Feel the pointing on it.
I do.
Smooth. Though.
I do. Everyone would be able to watch live. I'm incentivizing people to watch live a little bit as well, because obviously who wouldn't want to look at our beautiful faces? And Josh occasionally.
Josh.
Yeah.
It's tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds. Where's the props for the tumbleweeds? No, next week, Wednesday, the something of February, we will be live on Facebook. Wednesday, 4:00. You need to follow us on Facebook, NPK Hydroponics Live, which is that's our Facebook page dedicated to podcasts. There's nothing else on there. Join us, ask questions in real time, and enjoy the NPK Live experience. You get to see all the fuck-ups. You get to see the beginning, the end, everything. It's not a highly tuned show, even though the Mevo camera and Josh doing the editing is going to make it look much nicer than it's ever looked before.
Got some good gear, but we're just a pair of dickheads. We do make mistakes. It is what it is.
That I'm going to use that as the clip for Instagram to promote it.
is.
We've got
If he doesn't cut it out, Josh, you'll see Steve scratching his plums before.
I wasn't scratching my plums, I was fixing my pants.
Well, you ain't. You had your hands down
Listen,
there,
it's
mate.
all under the table.
I've
Stop
seen it.
grass.
Has anyone got any CANNA wipes?
So we want to know what you want to see on the podcast. We want to know what you want to listen to on the podcast. We want to know the guests that you want on the podcast. What topics do you want to listen to? Follow us on Instagram, NPK_hydroponics. Watch our videos on YouTube. Just type in the NPK show onto YouTube. And we'll be back next week. Full bore. Let's go. Circle of Life. Elton John, Lion King. Boom.
Where did that come
How
from?
about that, friend? I just got into a bit of a flow, didn't I?
Elton John, Lion King. What's that about?
The Circle of Life. The Circle of Life. Make me sound good again then, Coatsy. So it's the Circle of Life. So it's all about seeds, cuttings, propagation, young plants. I'm going to talk a little bit about the science of young plants and why you need to put humidity domes over them because of the root structure and, all that sciencey shit that we need to talk about. You can imagine. Look forward to it. So tune in, feet up. Let's get going for a year of growing with NPK Live.
How long did it take you to come up with that?
All day. I'm staying.
Say it again.
So we'll be back next week to talk about seeds and cuttings and all that sort of stuff. And then, so tune in, feet up, and let's get going for a year of growing with NPK Live. There you go.
Edit that out, lad.
It was well best of the first time you fucked
That's
it.
like something of curry or something.
You sit down.
It's supposed to be realist.
Listen, no wonder you're looking at me saying, we need to go because it's 6:05 and you've only got 45 minutes to get home to watch Corrie at whatever time it's on.
Do you know what time it's
7:30.
Does it?
Apparently so, yeah.
I don't watch it, mate.
Neither do I. I used to.
Well, you get made to watch it.
No, I don't. I'm going to do the dishes. I'm not allowed to watch it.
At least you're honest.
I know. Well, I'm Ste.
And I'm Barry.
No, you're B, because Barry doesn't rhyme with Ste. I'm Ste, you're B, and that's it.
I like Barry.
Well, it's a good job somebody does, mate.
It's not my fault.
Right, we'll be back next week. Thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, man.
Thank you once again to all the partners that have allowed us to take this next year of podcasts. And we'll be back next week. And let's hit the road running. See you all next week.
Yeah, man.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ra.